Hey traders, hello YouTube. It is Chris. I run Elliott Wave Cafe. Today is Wednesday and we're going to take a look at the stock today. It's time for coffee and stocks. Every single week we pick a stock and we take a look at it and we try to count it and see what potential it has, or if it's bearish or bullish, whatever it might be the reason in here. And I think today we're going to look at NVDA. It's kind of one of the hottest stocks around. It's been, rallying here strongly. A lot of people are betting against it still, yet it continues to move and it threatens to make new all-time highs here pretty soon. So let's take a look and dive in and see what's happening with NVIDIA. Actually, the semiconductor index is doing pretty great. I mean, today we've had pretty decent breakouts in these markets. So, I think it's a good fit for what's happening up there in the tech sector, what's going on with AI, artificial intelligence, and all of that, right? Let's see if the counts suggest further upside or not. So I'm going to start by looking at the quarterly chart of NVIDIA. In here, you can see, right, we're starting to trade in 1999, and then we have a period of kind of sideways movement in here till about 2013. So for almost 13, 14 years here, NVIDIA didn't do much. It went from 30 cents to whatever was this, maybe $5, and then came back down, and then finally it had its major breakout in about 2013, where it started to move for about $3 stock, and here we are at about 300. So, the market cap in it is about 745 billion. I think this stock is going to go north of 1 trillion, if not even more. It's probably going to rival, Apple at some point in the future. But it continues to look pretty strong in here. Now, if you take a look at the quarterly chart, you can see a very clean picture, right? Pretty strong impulses in here. We had this massive correction when all of the tech sector kind of got reset due to the increase in the interest rates, and we sold off from about $340 down to about 110, and here we are back at about 300. So if you can take a look at this formation on the quarterly chart, you sell off, you get this big monthly candle, you sell off again, you leave a little bit of a tail, but then the following quarter in here in 2022, you're starting to reverse and you stop going down. And the next quarter here, as we begin 2023, it's a very bullish quarter, right? The stock moves from roughly what I'm seeing here about 140 up into, let's say, 270, 280 area. And here are, running the second quarter of this year. Now, this to me looks like a pretty decent reversal formation from something that was bearish now to something that is bullish, right? So it's a failure to drop, just like this one was, and it's actually got a pattern that's formed out of a 4-quarter candle, right? I think this is pretty powerful, and this to me suggests that NVIDIA will go much higher than this previous high was in 2021. So that's just a quick look at the quarterly chart. Let me show you the next one. This one was a naked chart. This one shows you a couple of lines, the same chart, where you're basically having a very nice uptrend. You do a parallel line, you hit the targets up here at the top, near about 70 to $80 in NVIDIA. So just a simple projection would have, help you sell off a little bit of the stock back in here. It had a pretty decent drop to about $30. And then, we went up again, and then came down and retested the broken channel, the bottom line in here, and now we're pushing back to the upside. So sometimes things are just as simple as this. You have a couple of lines, you have a longer term time frame. When in doubt, you have to zoom out and just kind of look at what's going on, with the price. I have no indicators in. I have nothing. I have no wave counts. I got just a simple chart with some numbers, right, with some prices on the right, and just some candles and some trend lines. So very, very basic. Let's take a look at the number 3. And this is now dropping down to a monthly time frame. Again, here is this big sell-off and the big recovery. Now, I want you to take a look at this monthly candles. There is nothing in here that suggests that NVIDIA shows any type of a reversal pattern at the moment, right? We don't have any dark cloud cover. We don't have any shooting star. We have no dojis. We don't have, in terms of price on a monthly time frame here with maybe a couple of weeks left in this month, right? There's nothing here that suggests necessarily, now, yeah, this could happen. This could go up and then create a massive rejection, and you can leave a long tail on the charts, suggesting that, NVIDIA might pull back, or maybe a little doji like that, followed by a black formation. But for right now, I wanted to show you kind of how clean this looks, right? I think, obviously, this correction is over. This suggests that by pulling back so far in here, you're very likely that you're going to take this high and continue to move higher. Let's take a look at chart number 4. This is on the weekly time frames, and you have here a 150-day moving average, or about a 30-week. Nice, decent uptrend, then a downtrend. You break this downtrend in here, right? You kind of come back and retest the broken trend, and now you're squeezing up higher. You can clearly kind of see that that's probably a wave 2. We're in the middle of a wave 3 higher in here. So, beautiful move. We already have taken out these April highs. I think it's when this stock was trading at about 290 in 2022 before the larger drop. But again, just on the weekly time frame here is just a pure simple grind higher. We're getting a bit extended here above the 30-week moving average. So I'm not saying this will ramp to the upside, straight away. It might just kind of move sideways for a little bit. I'll show you the counts, but the trend continues to be nicely up. And then take a look at chart number 5 on the daily. You have your 20-day EMA, you have your 50-day simple moving average, and 150-day moving average as well. I mean, as beautiful of a trend as it gets in here. We had a failed drop in here, right? I mean, they tried to kind of get this below 265 towards 260, and automatically got bought back up. This was the signal that actually this formation here, this top information, failed, and it was time to kind of start to accelerate to the upside. I talked to the members of the Elliott Wave Cafe here, and we've talked about semiconductors, and we looked at a bunch of stocks in here, and NVIDIA was one of them. But we're actually long the semis via some like a triple leverage ETF called SOXL. And we're trying to kind of stay with this trend as long as possible. So anyway, just kind of full disclosure on that, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm kind of singing kind of my own book in here, right? The trend continues to be up. It is it is a powerful stock that I will show you that it beats every single other stock in the, in the semiconductors. So there's really no arguing in here kind of what the stock is doing at the moment right now. Yeah, if you start to break back below the 50-day moving average, we have a different discussion and we can look at some larger corrections. But as long as we remain above this kind of 270 line, I think we continue to look to the upside. Now, take a look here at the semiconductors. I'm looking at the members of the SMH ETF, and I'm placing them in the order of their technical ranking based on the stock charts ranking in there. What's the strongest? NVIDIA in here remains with the highest score. And if I take it from, let's say 1 year, right? The score, if I take it, year to date in here, if I go 6 months, I mean, this is just the top stock in this, 24, 23 stocks that are in this SMH. And I've done this SMH maybe a couple of years ago, so there might be some add-ons. But I think in general, it's pretty much the same ones. And there's a few other ones that are strong, like AMD. I mean, look at this chart. I mean, look at, Lam Research breaking up. Look at OLED starting to attack the highs. Avco, take a look at ON Semiconductor. You got KLAC, Applied Materials. So there is a lot of stuff in here that continues to look pretty good. I think today we've had, Taiwan Semiconductors was another one that pushed higher. And, back on the weaker side, you got Intel, which still kind of struggles. Maybe you have a little bit of Qualcomm that's not doing as good, Qorvo, so there is not all semiconductors looks like are created equal, right? That's why you want to stick with the ones that are the strongest in here. And then let's take a look. Also, I want to show you, before I jump to that one, let me show you in terms of performance, right? Just a simple, just a simple performance chart in here, what's going on, right? So year to date, let's do 1 year. 1-year performance, NVDA 66%. Year to date, NVDA 106%. 6 months, NVDA 92%. 3 months, 41%. 1 month, 16% by Lam Research. AMD, so on a 1 month basis, Lam Research just overtook, and AMD and KLAC just overtook NVIDIA, which is up only about 11.7%. 5-day performance, OLED, Universal Display, followed by Applied Materials, and then on a 1-day performance, you got Taiwan Semiconductors. They just had a pretty strong move today of almost 6%, and NVIDIA was up at about 3%. So again, that kind of triple leverage ETF, that OXL, basically, if you're moving today 3%, that thing moves almost, 9%, let's say, or 8% on a day. So, all right, let's take a quick look here at what's going on in terms of relative strength. I mean, this in here is Dow Jones Semiconductor Index, straight up since October of last year, right? The moving to the semiconductors. Take a look at NVIDIA versus the semiconductor index, right? I mean, look at the outperformance, right? It's pretty much beating every other stock out there. Take a look at the semiconductors versus the S&P 500, right? That's the outperformance. And take a look at NVIDIA versus the S&P 500. So, clearly a winner. And I don't think, this kind of, let's say major hedge funds, money managers, pension funds, Wall Street firms are willing to, take something that's as strong as NVIDIA is off their books and move their money into Intel, right, which is weaker because they're going to underperform the market. Now, sure, there might be some profit trimming in here, but this continues to look pretty strong to the upside. And look at the accumulation distribution, continues to point higher. All right, let me jump and take a look at the counts, because that's why you're here if you like Elliott Wave. And this is a look at the 1 month chart. I'm gonna, if you don't have the count, you can kind of stop the video and try to come up with your own count, but I will just kind of start to populate the numbers in here. So let's take a look. Okay, so this is, I'm having this as a wave 1. I just put it at the primary degree, and that's fine. Wave 2, then you go another wave 1, intermediate, wave 2. And we're in the middle of this larger wave 3 intermediate, I think, by the way this looks, right? There's no really anywhere back in here a correction that as big as this one was back during the financial crisis. So let's do the next one. Let's go down to the minor degree, right? From intermediate, we go down to minor, and you have a wave 1, 2. We finished wave 3 minor. And then we corrected in a wave 4. This wave 4 matches this wave 2. And now we're working out a wave 5. Off a wave 3, that could lead us, you can actually double from here and you wouldn't have any problem with this kind of wave 5. And then eventually we're probably going to get a little bit of a pullback in a wave 4. Again, it doesn't have to be as deep as this 4th wave, right? There would be a massive sell-off. But, we'll watch. It could be a triangle. Who knows exactly how this is going to pan out, right? And then let me take a look at the internals in here. So we'll go from minor to minute degree in a wave 1, wave 2. The strongest wave of this entire move is this wave up here. So that's your third of a third of a third wave, right? And going up in there, come down in 4, then you go up in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if I have those subdivisions. There you go. So this is minuet. Yeah, minute minuet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, down in 4, and now we're going to be working this wave 5. All right, let's take a look from a 1 month. Let's go to a 1 week and see how this looks in here. Before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to see if I can do an equality between this wave 1 and this wave 5 and see kind of what that would be. Let's see if I can do it via the software automatically. 5v1. Okay, so 5v1 basically, if you're going to reach equality with this wave 1, that would come at about 355. And then I think the high in the stock was 335. So, or thereabouts. So you're looking at about, $15-20 higher than the all-time highs to reach about 100% equality. That would be the first kind of target for this wave 5, given that you're actually having a 5-way sequence in here and you're not running short on that. Otherwise, you can start to move higher. And I'm going to do another. You can go up to 743 to the 161 5v1. Let's do another. Oops, sorry. All right, I think I screwed something up. Give me a second. All right, I am back. I think I pressed a hotkey that just moved me into a different template. So sorry about that. But once again, let's take a look at Alt 5 in here. Let's just see. So 5v1, we started with that. 5v4, you know, I mean, you can look at some inverse relationship on this wave 5 versus wave 4. And what I usually do is I look for 127 to 138. So that comes between, let's say, all the way up there to about 516 for, I don't see that too well, but let me see. Right, 455 to 516. It's a reverse fib of this wave 4 when you go over and you look to the upside. And I'll show you another way to do that. You can do that in TradingView or anywhere if you just kind of calculate the reverse multiple of this fourth wave. So there would be a couple of other targets. Let's see if we can find out. 5 versus 1 plus 3, it's another common one out there. So that takes you to about, 391 on the first, but, the 38.2, it's usually much better. That's 867. So there are some like crazy targets to the upside, based on these calculations. But, we can start small with 355, then move into 500 and so on. And that would be kind of the way I would look at it. But the first thing in here, let me just get rid of these, would be to kind of go back, let's say, to maybe go to a one-day chart and start to look inside this zone in here, right? So we can see that's an impulse, and we can start to kind of look in a wave 1, 2, let's say 3, 4, and 5 right there. Let me see if I can grab the wave 5 and just kind of connect it, if it's not too high, right there with the wave 3, and just connect it with that. Okay, go back to a one-day. And let's see in here, where are we? Okay, now we'll do, just kind of secure that, 1, 2. Let's see, what was the pullback in that wave 2? 61.8. I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. For a wave 2, that's great, right? Between 61.8 and 50%. Unleashes. So this is what we call, a bullish to kind of a bearish to kind of bullish type of reversal, where you basically have an inverted head and shoulder. The correction here moves down. You start to kind of react from here. You go back to the previous wave high. You create a neckline. You got your left shoulder, right shoulder into the 61.8 to 50%, and that's your ideal reversal that breaks higher. So that's what it did. And the market, let's go for the third wave target. You're looking at about 340. We're basically at about 138% right now, and this is on the log scale. So we're looking at percentage moves. 1, 2, 297 is being hit right now, and 339 would be where you would have about 161.8. And we could very well reach that. Then you do a 4 and then start to work our way into a wave 5, a little bit higher, just above this 335. Just go maybe back towards 350, 370, somewhere close to 400. Now, I promise you that I'm going to show you how to do that, also that kind of reverse fib. And let me just get rid of these guys in here. Well, actually, let's leave them on. And I have it kind of saved into a tool. And I go as a retracement. And you can do that yourself. You can put negative fibs, and that will give you, kind of the upside projections in here. So I have already a template that's saved. I go on a reverse fib, and it gives me basically the targets in here, right? So that's the 100% of the move, and then 127%. It's at about 455. Talked about that just before, right? When I projected those targets via the automated software. This is just with the fib tool. And then 138% comes at about 516. So if we're finishing a wave 3 up here, close to all-time highs, then we pull back in a little bit of a fourth wave, and then we do a 5 into this. I think, I think that would be pretty awesome, and it will kind of follow along with all the projections. So that's kind of what I'm seeing, in NVDA. If you want to take a look at the relative strength, have at it. Look at this guy in here versus the S&P 500, just kind of pushing higher, and I have kind of other little tricks that I kind of watch with these stocks. So Guys, again, thank you so much for for watching, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, let me know what other stocks you want me to take a look at. Take a look at the link below the video. You'll see where you can find me on Substack. There's a lot of information there. You can find me also on Twitter, the link below the video as well. And as always, I appreciate you being here. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.